here to read for you again. Hello, Cellulite and Love Tarot, or Hillary for short. Welcome, happy Freaky Friday on my channel. So I did start a reading just a few minutes ago, and I got about 10 minutes in, and I felt like I needed to stop because I felt like the reading got completely taken over, and it wasn't going anywhere, which was really weird. But the theme of that reading, we'll see if it carries over here, was someone making themselves smaller than they are, right? And that being a blockage to being completely authentically themselves because they were not recognizing their own greatness. Okay, the energy that took me over, I then completely got taken over by that feeling, and I could not connect with the cards because I felt small. It was so weird. So this might be significant for that. Now that I'm aware that that energy is so potent and I have done some clearing, I'm going to be very aware of my own energy and being in a neutral place to observe the reading, okay? This might be for you if you are someone who has not really gotten into meditation for a reasoning that is feeling like you can't stop your thoughts, and then you feel like you've wasted your time because you don't feel like you get into a meditative state. That stuck out significantly. I will say I don't care if you meditate or not, and there's several different ways to meditate. It doesn't have to look how mainstream makes it look, okay? It is getting into an observative state of your thoughts, okay? I have the same issue because ADHD. I have nonstop thoughts and they overlap, okay? That's why my readings can get a little jumbled because it's like I have a thought all at once, right? So, anyway, word of advice for that, if you are interested, turn it into a game. You're not your thoughts, you're the one who observes them. If you can play a game with yourself in these states to watch or observe your thoughts like a spectator, right? Be in that awareness instead of identifying as your thought in a body. If you observe and put yourself as a spectator to what you're thinking, that's an excellent way to meditate, okay? It's not about not having thoughts. Okay, let's jump right in. I'm going to clear for you and clear for me. Oh, some extra. That's so nice. Okay. I'm going to start with Moonology oracles first, okay? Spirit, my higher self, my beautiful darling's higher self, thank you so much for using me as a channel to guide and instruct. I ask for the most clear and concise messages, information, feelings, and sensations to come through for the betterment of my darling, for the highest good of everyone involved. Thank you so much, Spirit, and thank you so much for being here. I feel so fortunate to have you. You are larger than life, so if you have been feeling small or insignificant, you're not, okay? You're not at all. You are a big deal. You're kind of a big deal, okay? Spirit, what do I need to know for my beautiful darling as they step into completely authentic freak flag flying behavior? Oh my gosh. You have 4 new moon cards here. A new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. You and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. Luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. Bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. At the bottom we have be bold and make the first move. I am blown away by the amount of new moons here because I feel like when I started tarot on the last one, the first card that came out is the World, which represents a successful cycle. And the phase that comes after the phase that comes after a full moon, a completed moon cycle, the next, major deal is the new moon, right? New beginnings, new opportunities, new viewpoints of self. I feel like there's a need to where you have met yourself with criticism or criticality, you need to meet yourself with love and nurturing. I feel like this is talking to someone who is their own worst enemy in their mind, right? So it's like, I feel like when you do something, even if it's good, the first thing out of your mouth is an underhanded criticism about how it's part of what you didn't turn out the way you wanted, or you didn't do that as well as you wanted, right? And I feel like you just shrink yourself into a smaller box, right? I feel like it could be a defense mechanism, because if you're the first one to criticize yourself or to put yourself down, then nobody else needs to do that, right? You don't have to receive that from other people. I feel like what this is doing is then you're not receptive to hearing or accepting just how wonderful you really are at the things that you do, or at with who you are, or what you believe, or anything. I feel like you always feel like you're just barely not meeting the mark, right? It's like even when you complete things or you do things, you sort of view it as luck, right? Oh, I'm just lucky that happened, instead of being like, I've worked really hard, I put in the time and energy for that, and now it's successful. It's more like, I did it, but beginner's luck, basically. And you could be doing something, this could be something that you do or have done for years, but it's like you always view yourself as a beginner with everything that you do. There's a need to really pour love into yourself right now, and to give yourself the recognition that you deserve. And be bold. Be bold with who you are. Stand in that boldness. It's not cockiness. It's not arrogance. That's not the same thing. And maybe we should be mindful about how we view other people who are proud of their achievements, you know. I know this is very specific, but that's just who I'm speaking to. Okay, Spirit, can you give me some tarot on this situation? How can I help this amazingly wonderful person be more completely authentic? The authenticity starts with complete self-love, unconditional self-love. It absolutely does. Supporting yourself. That is a necessity for being your freak flag flying self, okay? What do you want me to know? Two of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, the High Priestess, oh, that's a lot. We got the Two of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Cups. I don't want to do this. That was the... no. I don't remember which order they came out, so I'm just going to put them where I feel intuitively. Okay. Underlying, you got Three of Cups, Four of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Swords, the Empress. I feel like I could be talking to someone who doesn't feel as supported as they actually are. And this all stems from the lack of individual support that you have for yourself. You see that in everyone else around you, right? I feel like you're more supported than you are, but you're not happy with it because you're looking at your own dissatisfaction with yourself a lot of the times. Yeah, it's like when people tell you, Knight of Swords, Empress, when people tell you how good you are at something, you downplay it. And this is what I'm talking about with this, like, oh, I was just lucky, beginner's luck energy, the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like you're just like, things that work out for you, things that you do well, things that are successful, when people like it, you're just like, oh, I don't know how that happened. You know, like, it's not actually me, it's something outside of me. And so then you never give yourself credit for the things that you achieve. I feel like this is changing. I feel like you are maybe aware of this, but it's still like something that you've dealt with for a long time. And I feel like you've been trying to face this for a long time with the Two of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you've wanted things to change. You've wanted this outlook to change for you, but it's taken so much because it takes a lot of energy and actual physical self-discipline to get yourself out of that. Like, people can kind of underestimate how much physical energy it takes to energetically change your mental story, your spiritual story, your ego to mind balance, right? It takes so much physical energy and it's exhausting, right? I totally get that. I feel like when you have moments of real self-appreciation, of real self-love, of self-adoration, it feels false to you. And that's just it's like a loop. Like, this is like a vicious cycle of thinking, because it's like, I feel like you're someone that never gives yourself the credit that you deserve. You play yourself smaller than you are. You're actually much bigger deal than you are. You're more talented. You're better at what you do. You make a bigger impact than you realize, or that you're letting yourself see. Right? The impact is around you, but you're not accepting that as actually something in you. So when you have these moments of like, oh, I did good, then it's just like, that was fake. Like, this encouragement, that was fake. You're like refusing to see with this High Priestess that, like, you're actually making progress with how you view yourself. Eight of Wands, Knight of Cups. This would be like you being rapid fire on top of self-concept, on top of self-love, telling yourself, I'm doing better. But every time you do it, it's like you're not seeing that it's real. It feels false. It feels like you're hiding something. It feels like you're hiding something. There might be a need to speak to a therapist, a counselor, even getting in with some sort of, whatever spirituality you are in. If you're religious, maybe go talk to someone in the religion that you're in, or just maybe a spiritual retreat, something to help you break through this blockage that you have. You have a heart chakra blockage with this Four of Pentacles, and it keeps you from moving forward with the Strength and Eight of Swords. And I feel like you're aware of this. It's so weird because I feel like you're aware of all this, but it's just like, okay, I'm aware that I have these thoughts that I need to fix about myself. I'm aware that I have these limiting beliefs, that I don't say the greatest things about myself, that I don't give myself credit. But then whenever I go and revise these things, when I start doing affirmations and I start giving myself praise, my immediate thought is that that was fake. That's not true, right? And so you're just like, I'm doing my best, but I don't know how to get past the mental loop. You feel like you're in a mental jail, like you're mentally stuck in this thought process. And it's like, no matter what I'm doing, I just end up feeling like what I'm doing is not enough. I feel like there's a need to talk to someone about it, to really open up yourself to expressing this, because you could revise your thoughts and affirm all day, but there is something so helpful about opening up to someone else, right? And I feel like you could be guarded off to that because that lets someone close enough to where they could hurt you. that's like a big heavy theme here, is like you need to talk to someone physically. You need to verbally get that out of you, and to people around you who can affirm you. Okay? I feel like as long as you're trying to do this on your own and you're just battling yourself against yourself, then it's going to feel like a never-ending battle. This is something that might take a village. I feel like this is going to be, like right now, this process of trying to do it on your own is putting you in perpetual loops of like it's just distracting. Like, because I feel like you're being so logical, and it makes so much sense, because you're like, logically, I know I need to care about myself. I know I need to believe in myself. I know I need to love myself. I know I need to support myself. But logically, I also need to know whenever I need to do better, and I need to know whenever things need to be improved, and I need to know what I need to work on so that I can be better, right? So it's yin and yang. It's both sides of the coin, not the corn, the children of the corn. I don't know. I feel like it's overwhelming because you are in both places at the same time. And what might help balance you out, because it feels like a teeter-totter, right? What might balance you out is someone needs to step in and pull one side down, right? To make it stop just going back and forth. I know this is really bizarre. I'm sorry. You need some stable foundation. And if you're jumping from one extreme to the other and you don't know how to stop, then you need some intervention to help you. And that's okay. That's okay. Everyone needs someone. We need community. We need people. We need community. We need people. Okay? You know, it doesn't even have to be spiritual. Like, I've considered joining just because I really love manifesting, right? So that's kind of like, I'm obsessed with manifesting. So I've considered joining like manifesting support groups, like Manifesting with Kimberly I love her channel. She's so awesome. I love her personality, everything. And she offers the coaching and the group stuff. And like, I've considered joining that just so that there's a community of like-minded people who are obsessed with manifesting, you know, who then I can surround myself with, and they can help, you know, whenever I'm having hard moments or whatever, they can help ground me back into what I want. So even if you just are into something like self-development or manifesting, like focusing on something that can just get you pulled into something stable, something grounded, I just feel like support is really necessary right now for you, for that. Let's see what else. Spirit, what else do you want me to know about this? After this few messages here, I'm going to get what you're doing right, okay? What else do you want me to know about this? For my beautiful person being completely self-authentic. Some of you okay. Some of you have a father wound that you need to address. I can completely relate to this, so I'm not going to go too deep on it, okay? Because I just want to make sure that I'm not just reading my energy. I feel like I'm in a very neutral place right now, but just in case, just because this is eerily specific, okay? Some of you have a father wound that needs to be addressed, because I feel like this voice that you hear that is very critical, that doesn't give yourself the credit that you deserve, that doesn't give you praise, that doesn't believe that you're as good as you are, I feel like that stemmed from a lack of that encouragement from your father or someone significant to you, a leadership person in your life, okay? That's not for everyone. I know that a lot of my people have great relationships with their parents, and like I love that. I would rather that be the case, okay? I feel like some of you had a father that It didn't matter what you did. It didn't matter. They really weren't quite impressed, right? And it's like, you needed, as a kid, you needed your dad to be impressed. You needed your mom to be impressed, you know. You deserve that sort of encouragement, you know, that recognition, because that sort of energy, hearing that from your family, helps kids grow into more confident, strong, you know, self-empowered people, right? Building up, I feel like you just didn't have the kind of support that built you up as a kid, right? So that's what you're healing from. That's like the core issue here, is a father wound in that area. So if you can think about that, and less from like a heartbreaking, you know, disappointment, but more of like, okay, so this voice in my head, this thought process in my head that is quick to criticize myself, that isn't impressed whenever I do something and I do it well. I just saw 21:12 on the clock, so that's a mirrored number. So this self-reflection, okay? If you can assign that thought process as someone different than you, if you can assign that, be like, oh, that's dad. You know, that's, then you don't even have to say it's dad. You can give it a name. That's Gary. I don't know. I'm not trying to offend anyone. Okay, just a name that doesn't mean anything to you. Okay, if you can assign those negative thoughts as someone else, give it a different name, then that will help you maybe to disassociate from identifying from this negative critical side of you, right? That might be healing for you, to name that voice someone else and to be mindful. Oh, whenever I'm being critical, oh, so-and-so speaking up again. Okay, they want their opinion to be heard. I don't know what that has to do about me. I'm doing awesome, you know, something like that. Okay, because I want you to ask yourself, what good has come from the negative critical side of your thought process, okay? How did that actually make anything better for you? There's a difference between being willing to learn and being willing to improve and not giving yourself any credit that you're due. There's a difference there. That's why community would be important, okay? And I feel like community would also help you with accepting relationships, because if you have a father wound, then you likely have a hard time connecting with other people. It generally anyways, you might have a hard time letting anyone in, because that's just kind of one of the side effects that can happen from it, I think. So what do I know? Don't take my word for it. Okay, I'm going to see what you're doing right. Oh, my throat. I need a drink. I'm sorry. What is my beautiful darling doing right? Well, you are surely aware of the struggle that you have. That's what I was picking up on before all of this. You already know, okay? So I feel like the fact that you know that you've been open enough to be like, okay, I need to be kinder to myself. Excellent. You're on the right path. You've already embarked on a new part of your journey. And yes, you feel like you're a beginner at it, okay? You feel like you're a beginner, but I feel like you're already reaping the emotional rewards from just the awareness alone, right? I feel like you're seeing the potential here for what could happen for you emotionally, that you can learn to be proud of yourself, overwhelmingly happy, just full of emotional abundance, right? Just feeling the best of the best. You see how that is coming, even if it takes a while, all right? I feel like Ace of Swords, Nine of Swords, you're just like learning how to redirect your thoughts. And it's a battle because you're so used to all of these negative thoughts building up. The worst, the what ifs, the I could be better, I'm not that good, I could, like you're used to that thought, those thought processes. So it just feels like one thought at a time, having to cut down the forest of thoughts, essentially, right? I like that because I was talking about you being in two minds, right? That awareness alone is enough for you to see a way forward, right? See that things need to change. I just feel a lot of awareness. You're a very aware person, a very self-aware person, and you have been for a long time, and it's just gone next level for you to be self-aware enough about the importance of what you believe about yourself, what you say about yourself, what you show yourself as far as like support and encouragement and all that. At the bottom you have Three of Swords, the World, Ten of Wands, the Hierophant, the Queen of Swords. Luckily, even if you have this battle going on, I don't see you going back to the way things were before. Living completely disappointed in yourself. I feel like you're already determined to not be who you were with this Three of Swords in the world, right? You're determined to not be that. You're determined to change your beliefs because you recognize how heavy your personal beliefs about yourself have been with the Ten of Wands and the Hierophant. You're recognizing the burden. This is also like the Hierophant is sort of a teacher, so it could be representative of a father figure, right? You are recognizing how heavy the beliefs of someone that you trusted to be teaching you the right way. You're recognizing that it's too burdensome, that it wasn't necessarily right, that it's overwhelmed you, right? That it's not your burden to carry those opinions. And so you are changing this actively. I like that the Queen of Swords is here. I'm much better than the King of Swords, actually, because the Queen of Swords more loving than the King of Swords. Like they're both hurt and guarded and sort of cut and dry, but the queens just naturally are more nurturing. So I feel like this is representing the nurturing side of you wanting to come out, and so then you being very cutthroat about the thoughts that you're thinking, right? It doesn't mean that the thoughts don't come up. They do. The Queen of Swords is ready for combat, right? It's often, she can be very argumentative. So I just view this as like you are being very argumentative with your previous thought process, and that's so good for you. So good for you. Let's see, how do I want to close this out for you? Let's get some healing energy oracles, and then I'll let you go. Spirit, can you please connect me to some healing energy oracles here for my wonderful darling as they are learning how to believe in their self, uplift their self, support their self, encourage their self, give themselves the credit that they are due. What healing energy do they need? A new opening. When one door closes, I am confident another will open, and it will be for my betterment. I accept that life brings challenges and acknowledge the opportunity and learning they present to me. Serenity comes from within. Return to the heart. I breathe light and stick to the essential for my soul, the present moment. I calm my thoughts, I focus on my heart, and I find space to be where my light and greatness are. I find peace and inner silence. Balance. I find a balance between each sphere of my life. I'm the master of my daily life, and I make time to nourish the spiritual and physical. I bring love to my world by fulfilling the needs of my body and soul. I love that. Peace. I am unwavering in the face of fear. I come to my senses and embrace the challenge. I'm determined to think with gentleness and calm. I find inner silence and become a manifestation of peace. At the bottom, you have unconditional love. My heart is free from resentment towards others. I open the eyes of my heart and discover the light and beauty in every being. I am aware that suffering can cause distress and hurt in people. I see the pure child in everyone and practice forgiveness. I love that. I love these healing energy oracles. They are always on point with the readings, and I feel like you needed those. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope that this was the validation confirmation that you needed, and I hope that you really, hey, feel free to join, like, the channel here if you're not already, and like maybe that can be start to you being in community if you're not already, or just go make the investment to join a community that you feel a lot of passion and pull towards, right? I'm excited for you. I can't wait for you to just be healing those wounds in you and giving yourself the credit that you deserve, because you are a way bigger deal than you realize. You're way better than you realize. You're larger than life, okay? Well, tomorrow is Soul Connection Saturday. I think I will have time for the reading, but if not, maybe I'll see you Monday for Manifestation Monday. We're going to see Saturday what's going on with Soul Connections. It's a very long reading. I dive into the collective and then singles, people with a specific person on their mind or who are in separation, and then connections that are together. So it's a long one. Hope to see you there if you're interested in that. If not, have a great weekend or a wonderful life. I love you so much. Take care and ta-ta.